All right, let's have a quick look at the markets. We have a sea of red. We've had a sea of red all week. So the last recording I did on Sunday, I think it was, I mentioned that the move coming down hadn't ended yet, and it was most likely been led by the weekly rather than the daily. So on the daily, you can see the the moves down, right? So anticipating, let's say, another move up and then coming all the way down to here, which is where I believe this is now rushing to close this gap right here. So let's go to the weekly where we can see this better. And we can see that this move coming down started from last week and it hasn't ended yet. This sell hasn't ended. We know this sell ended because of this pullback, right? Well, this sell, which is an even big one, most likely is coming down all the way down to here. It could, in theory, go down even lower, but I doubt it this time. We won't know that it's ended until we start to see a sizable pullback on this time frame. So ordinarily, I wouldn't look at the weekly because it's just way too huge of a time frame. But in this case, it gives better perspective on where we are. So this move coming down on the daily, although it looks like it's separate moves, and actually it is separate moves on the daily, but the whole point is it's being led by the weekly. I presume it could in fact be the monthly, but I think it's the weekly, and it hasn't ended yet. This move, especially this second leg here coming down, let's say it ends here, this is where it wants to get down to. We'll then need a pullback, most likely to this area right here, because we've had a halt. So anywhere between here and here will be the pullback, another push down before another attempt to reach this high or go above, potentially. All of that is way down the line. That's going to take months to happen, because we need this move down to end, need a pullback, another push down, which is with this leg being shorter than this leg. We know, I can say for sure we'll definitely have another pull down, because this pull coming down right here, so this secondary one is bigger than this first one. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, right, before we have a push up which will aim to challenge this high. The good news is there is a lot of space for both sellers and buyers. So if you were going to take either way, you just need to ensure that you have your timing right. So what was I saying earlier? Okay, so I say there's definitely going to be another push down, a third one down, because of the size, the length of this secondary one here, because it's stronger than the first one, and I'm anticipating a third leg down at least. If not, it could be more. It could be 4, 5. But right now, that's what I'm seeing, a third move down when this secondary leg ends, and we'll know it's ended once we have a sizable data set to show that this pullback has begun. This pullback here. Let me clear this up. So for the rest of this week, if not today, because there is the budget announcement in the UK, but there's also a news announcement in the US. So both are sizable announcements. They're economic, market moving announcements. So I anticipate this to drop very sharply today, and by the end of the week, most likely reaching this level. So that's what I'm seeing on this market. And not the good news is we're seeing a similar thing. Actually, I'll come back to Germany. Germany is, I want to delve more into Germany later, afterwards. UK and US seeing the same thing, and they are roughly at the same area or level. Let me go back. So I believe, I forget where the equivalent, I'm not sure where the equivalent is on here, but they're roughly, actually let me go back and see it. So I want to see this right here is 23rd of October. So that's where this is most likely coming down to. Okay, I'm trying to find the equivalent in the UK to see whether it's here or even lower. So what was that? 23rd of October, right? Oh, it's here. That's the equivalent level. So the 7,000 level. Oh wow, this has a long way to go then. You see why this is coming down in a hurry? It's lagging behind the US. US is leading it. US is going to reach this area, the equivalent, first. That isn't to say this market and Germany will also reach that area, although in this case I believe it will do. Which is all the way down here. See how strongly this is coming down? You notice in the US, this move coming down right here is the secondary move to first move. In the US, it's something like this, right? Well, in this market, because it's lagging behind, this is the first move. There isn't an earlier move. This right here is all one move compared to the US, which made it in two, right? We had 1 and 2 on this time frame. On the daily, I mentioned just these two because I was thinking of this coming down to here and this being bigger than this. If you were to scroll back, you'll see it's actually potentially, you view it as you had this move and then all this time went by before this secondary move happened, and then this move is now happening. And considering the most current move, this move, versus the previous move, this move, you can kind of ignore the previous move for now, if you're just considering where this is likely to whether or not we're likely to see another move down after this move down, this secondary move compared to this first one. And the answer to that is yes. Compared to the UK, so on this time frame, we've had just one as opposed to two, and on the daily, you can consider this as 1 and then 2. Yeah, perhaps that's enough gap or space to say this was a move down, pull back, and a bigger move down. Because it's so huge, we're absolutely going to have another move down. I think it's even clearer on this market. The question I'm having on this market is, where is this going to end? This move coming down. So it doesn't look like it's going to end at the 7,480 level, where the line is. Looks like it's going to crash past it. And if that is the case, what do we have? Let's have a look. We've had all of this move up as one move, and as a secondary move up. This one is more difficult to count because you can say this is a move up and then this is a move up, which is true. But in this case, I prefer to go with the more extreme and say all of this is a move up rather than two. And then this is another move up, potentially. Yeah, this is another move up. So this guy coming down, although it started from here, it did so steadily and then quickly took out this guy, the last guy who started the last move. Who's the previous guy to it? This guy. This line is more of an S&R. It's like a range, although it's quite a big range. You have all of that as a range, with this guy starting this move up from the lower time frame. But on this time frame, it's actually this guy who started all of that. He paused, he went up, paused for a bit, and then went up even higher. So he's the one, he's where the buyers are. So prices are now here. The question is, are prices going to go past this SNR? Or they have gone past this SNR. They've also gone past this SNR and are now targeting the guy who started the move up. It looks like they're going to go past him. And if they do, the next level will be this guy. He's the originator. Now let's say in fact, let's consider this move up, this guy's strength versus this guy's strength that's coming all the way down. Who is more stronger? Of course, this guy. Which means these guys here, these buyers, aren't going to want to face the sellers that are coming down. And if that is the case, this level really doesn't look like it will hold, which means we need to come down and look at the next guy who started it, which is this guy. All right, this guy started all of this move with the SNR being run about there, which coincidentally is more or less where this gap is. Interesting, isn't it? See how this all fits nicely together, and it's viewable once you have the data. Isn't that something where the gap is a strong SNR with this guy who started it? So he went up. A news announcement. Actually, let me clear this up. So he went up in a steady-ish manner. A news announcement came out, and he gapped up because people were interested in the buy. So you had that gap there. Came down, and those who were late on it jumped on it slowly and then quickly. And what I'm thinking as I'm looking at this now is, yes, this is an SNR. Yes, this is the guy who started it. And yes, he went all the way up here, but how did he do it? Check out that move up compared to this move down. Who is stronger? It's still the guys coming down, right? So although they have although the buyers, the one who started this move, ultimately is here, right? These are the last buyers. It's not very strong. Because this is the most extreme level, I would say, yes, out of all the moves that went up, he is the strongest guy. So when the sellers come down to him, they will have an issue here. They'll have a battle here. And that will be either sellers slow down the more they get to that line, or they come down in a rush, hold. Let's say the buyers are strong and hold this line. Even if buyers make another attempt upwards, sellers won't be done yet. They'll come down at least one more time to test this SNR. And if that is happening in the UK, what's the likelihood of this stopping here? Why not go all the way down to this guy? Because he is the ultimate strong guy. Unless prices come down, stop here, halt, and then go down before going up, before eventually making another attempt downwards, which is possible. Yeah, all of this is interesting. It's definitely need more data to suggest, but right now, with the strength of the sellers in this market, I can see that down here is definitely the target for this week, if not today. And whether or not the UK goes past it is dependent on the budget for this afternoon. With the strength of the sellers, yeah, it looks like it's going to go past it. If they go past it, then we have to look at the next level. In this case, being down here, the guy who started all of this move. And if they're coming down with even more strength, I think we'll get a reaction here. So this is 7,300. Okay. So I think this will come down. We'll get a reaction at this level. But it wouldn't be a reaction to take prices all the way back up to the 7,900 level-ish. I think it'll be a reaction to take prices back up to this level before making another attempt to go past here and reach the 7,000 level. That's what I think is most likely to happen on this market. Okay, Germany. Everything I mentioned in the other two markets applies to Germany. And remember I said this was the more interesting market for the sell. I think I said something like that over the weekend in the last video. Depending on where this move ends. So at the time, I wasn't sure whether it had ended or not. And it was a case of it, if it ended, then we'll have a pullback to around about this level before coming down. Well, it hasn't ended. It's still going. All of this is one move which hasn't ended yet, and it's already gone past this level, this SNR. Where's the next level? All the way down here. Now check this out. That same gap level that I mentioned in Wall Street is here. Prices are up here. There's a long way to go to get to that gap. And if prices are going to get down there, we're looking at the guy who started all of that move, whether it's that guy or this guy. Same difference, right? Who started all of this move upwards. But first, prices are looking to come down to this level. It's a wide range, but this is an SNR, this is an SNR2, and then this third level is the guy who started it. Which ordinarily I would say it's those guys there, but because of this spike, I'd say, yeah, prices can in theory come all the way down to here. So normally it would just be this level and this level with this guy who started it, but this spike downwards make me say prices can spike down to that level one more time. But anyway, we have now a case of this guy versus this guy, but we don't yet know how strong this guy is. You know, he's able to beat this level. Let's see where he comes down to, where he halts. Potentially here, 14,600 area, potentially, yeah, before a pullback, before a push down. In either case, we have push up, we need a push down to get one more push up before a push down to this level. Yeah, I don't think this is quite ready to come down to this level just yet, which again makes me think. So when I'm looking at one market, I'm thinking of other markets as well, because this hasn't, I don't think it has the strength to come down to this level with this move. I'm anticipating more of a, we've had this, and this is a pullback to this, right? So when it ends, where it ends, let's say there, we'll have another push up, which will then be a stronger base for a sell. What I mean by that is, at the moment, this is, prices are just crashing, and it's very unlikely that prices are going to crash all the way down to here from up here, considering, yes, they've gone past this level, but they've had that to beat, we have that, and then you have this guy who's the ultimate strong guy. The buyers down here, if price, let me clear this up. if prices were to come to him this week, the buyers down here are going to at least want to make another attempt, at least one more, right? And if they make another attempt from here again, where will their target be? Up here, that high. So what they did there, they're going to want to replicate it before potentially we get a strong enough conviction from the sellers to come all the way down. Conviction from the sellers and buyers no longer having faith in this level, i.e. when they do come down again, they're not going to want to buy as they did, as I think they'll do here, and as they did back there. These sellers are early adopters, if you want to consider them that, taking it down. These buyers here, even if they do get tested, I think they're going to make another move from this level. That will also tie in nicely with a bend, right? If we're looking at moving averages, this hasn't bent yet to say prices are turning. This is the first sign that it's going to bend. And another sign that it's going to bend will be after the buyers make another attempt here and are unable to reach this high. Then we can say, okay, they've made an attempt, struggled, and have given up. They'll probably struggle one more time and then it's just a wrap. That's what I think. But all of that is way, way down the line. First things first is this budget and how this budget in the UK, how it will I can't speak today. It's this budget in the UK, how it will affect the UK markets and corresponding markets, primarily the US and German markets. And then where this move down is going to end. Oh wow, look at this. Push down, even stronger, and now it looks like this is going to be even stronger than this move down, which means we're getting another move down until we can fade the sellers for the buyers to come in. Where are the buyers on this time frame? Down here. Yeah, if the sellers come down to this level, it's the 14, let's say 500, then we'll have to move the line down and say, okay, we're now looking at this guy. Wow. Versus this guy, assuming this is the guy that takes it all the way down to him, to the 14,500 level, which I think it's happening now, today. If not today, by the end of this week. Which will mean we'll have a pullback, perhaps use that as an SNR, and then another attempt to break this level. Yeah, very interesting stuff. It's Germany was a very, very cool market in terms of its move. Oh, it's happening very strongly indeed. Yeah, there wasn't much opportunity to jump in on this. It just ran away, or is running away. Hasn't ended yet. And that's what we're seeing across the globe. We have a sea of red. Same thing with Japan. It's in a rush, although I don't want to spend too much time on Japan because it's a completely different thing. Yeah, let me not delve into that. I'll just stick with the three: FTSE, Germany, Wall Street. Yeah, by the end of today, this could come down to 1,000 points, which I've seen before. Because if this is already 2%, this is reaching 3%, and this is just over 1.5%, and the US hasn't woken up yet. When they wake up, people are going to be panicking, and they'll want to jump out of their positions, which will make this come down even more. So with this being damn near 3%, we can expect this to be only halfway, at least. Oh, look at that. Almost 3%. It's just crashing. So we can expect this to be halfway at least. By 12, we might, oh, look at that, 3%. By noon, we can perhaps see a retracement on here. But then when the US awake, this will drop massively. Wow. Let's go into Germany. Look at that. See, this is what people refer to as a trendy day. Meaning even if you'd sold here, good times. If you'd held on or sold here again, good times. If you'd sold here, even good times. If you had used this inability to go up or SNR level as an opportunity to sell, even better. Where it ends, we'll have to wait and see. But yes, very good times indeed. I anticipate further drops because I don't think this is going to end where it's at now. I think it has a bit more ground to cover, meaning this coming down to here, and the budget might be what fuels it to come down even more before we reassess and see where buyers are likely to react to. All right, I'll leave it there for now. I'll have another video, if not one more by the end of this week, by Sunday at the latest, just to see where things are and gear up for the following week. But yes, this week is just an entire week full of red, as more or less it was last week. All right, I'll leave it there for now. Bye for now.